Bonsoir, mes amis. Welcome back to Monaco. Last time we erased the evidence of David at Securitech Corps. This time we're going to plant that evidence somewhere else, maybe. As an interesting note, the hacker's little line there at the start, the lines of C, A, T, G, and N, if I'm not mistaken, those are all parts of the human genome. So, in his own way, he's referring to DNA evidence. You know, since now we've effectively erased David's presence at Securitech Corporation, which is where he's the CEO. Now, if we plant it somewhere else, such as somewhere the gentleman has been known to be it's known that the gentleman was there, now the gentleman continues to make it apparent that perhaps he and David are the same person. At least, that's the pickpocket story. And he seems to be sticking to it. Whether or not that's actually the case, well, that'll become more apparent over time. This level's definitely a bit more intimidating than it was the first time. Whereas before you had, you still get the machine gun agents, the SMG guards are still everywhere. Now the difference is they're all basically looking where you need to go, whereas before they were generally looking away from you. This smoke bomb can, or any item in this level as a matter of fact, can seem really intimidating to get, but by exercising a little patience and not rushing around once you vaguely get someone's attention, you can make it out without too much of an issue. Of course, something to keep in mind with all these videos is that my gameplay style is sort of I'm aiming to make every video with cleaning out and no deaths. If you're trying to speedrun these missions, you're obviously going to be looking for a much different strategy. I tend to sneak around and do things, you know, really patiently. Like, you know, just kind of sidling around this column to avoid this guard. If you were more interested in speedrunning, you'd probably already be down these stairs to the aquatic exhibits by now. But, you know, to each their own. Something to keep in mind as you're going around in this cavern area is you can really take advantage of ways to break lines of sight. You may notice on the blueprints, they can see over the rocks, but they can't see around the columns. And those columns are really the only way you're going to be able to stay alive here.
Il y a quelqu'un? Je te tiens, scélérat!
If I was playing a little more cautiously there, I could have gone farther to the right to break his line of sight and get his alarm level a little bit farther down, but I'll take what I can get. There's no actual alarms out here despite the laser grids. Those are all attached to machine guns. So if you trip one, then yeah, you're gonna get shot up a bit, but you don't have to worry about any guards coming out to make the situation worse.
Dépêchez-vous de mon nouveau jeu.
Oh, il a même pas réussi. Oui, regardez sa porte.
Ne me tuez pas.
Arrêtez-vous! Garde! Garde!
On an interesting note, there are 6 civilians in there, but there are only 5 guards on this particular level. So, even if you do manage to get the attention of all 6 civilians, they won't all be able to go to a different guard. So, I believe you may notice that one civilian sitting on the second Owen classroom, that civilian never moved. And I think that's because that civilian did not have a guard that he or she was going to try and go get the attention of. The way civilians work as far as getting guards' attention is a little bit strange. What they'll usually try and do is as soon as they notice you, they will try and go get a guard's attention and alert them to your last known position from the civilian's perspective. If the guard they are going to go get is somehow otherwise alerted, maybe going to go investigate an alarm panel, that civilian will then change towards trying to find a different guard. If the civilian sees you again, after alerting a guard, the civilian will go and get the attention of another close-by guard. This can cause sort of a cascade effect if you're not careful. I believe the tide pools here are the first time we start to see these rotating lasers. These definitely become more of a feature in these levels we're about to be going to. I actually kind of really enjoy them. I think it's neat trying to avoid the laser fields, and even when you screw up, it most of the time it feels like it's something you messed up and you could have done better.
Quoi? Qui est là? Oh, tant pis.
I don't really know any good way to get past these guards. There's one pair of them at the top and one pair at the bottom, and they're both watching what's effectively the only way in and out of these areas. If you're more careful, or you're using a character that has some way of getting past guards, like the gentleman with his disguise, the cleaner, or the redhead, it's a bit easier, but pretty much any way you go, you're gonna have to deal with them sooner or later.
Quoi?
And of course, as always, it's a good thing for me that these guards completely lack peripheral vision. Up until now, I'd say this level's actually been fairly simple. You know, there's some worrying guard patterns, there may be a few concerning security systems here and there, but on the left side is where the security really takes a step up. Again, these aren't connected to any alarm panels, but there are 2 rotating lasers and a safe that you're going to have to get through. That's never exactly a good recipe for success. Not to mention all the guards surrounding the area.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
If I I had some sort of combination EMP smoke bomb, I'd love to use it, but
Voilà, c'est parti.
it's just not in the
Pour aller
cards.
normal. Quoi? Ouais, ils sont partis.
Still, with some creative item usage, we're on our way out. The alarm door at the bottom will set off the machine gun turret, which I just don't want to deal with, since getting hit by auto turrets will actually disrupt whatever action you're currently trying to complete. So, the best way to go about it is just take the ladders back. The last 3 pieces we need to clean this area out are all on the way towards the exit. So, after we make our way back through the nautical displays down to the aquatic exhibits, we'll head back towards the parking lot in the top right, and that'll be that.
Qui est là? Pourtant, j'étais sûr d'avoir entendu quelque chose. Qui va là? Je te tiens, scélérat.
That's all for now. Please join me next time when we continue on our merry way to become some real party animals at the discotheque. But this time it's just going to be a little bit different.